Hey guys, I've gotten a lot of requests on how I do my pinch and roll method. It's a quick and easy way to get a cleanup of your roots at the scalp. As you can see, my roots are a little neglected and I have orientation for a new job today. Now, I don't have a crochet hook, nor have I ever been efficient with one. I've had my dreads for 6 years now. They're really long. Um, Obviously not perfect. There's some thicker than others, thinner than others. There's a thin one right there. Some of them thinned out. I had to kind of, tie into a knot just so I don't fall out. I've got around 50, 60 dreads. 3 of them fell out so far due to thinning and not being as thick at the roots. I started out with, I think, was 25, and just, over the years, just kind of split them, new growth. Some formed, some free formed. Let's see if I can get a free formed one. This is a free form one. No, that's not a free form one. It's in there. So, first of all, this is quick. It's not too permanent. It could come out in about a day or so, maybe about 4 or 5 days if you do it the way I do it. So that being said, let's get started. I'm just going to do this front one right here to show you guys. So I'm going to pretty much get a chunk of that loose new growth that I got going on, sectioned out accordingly, I guess. And I'm just going to grab the dread and the new growth, and I'm going to pinch it with my 2 fingers. It can be these fingers, whatever you're more comfortable with. It can be in between the thumb and the index, but I like to do it between the index and the middle finger right now. So as you can see, there's new growth, there's the dread. So we're going to give ourselves about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of room to work with. And then we're going to go clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever one you're comfortable with. You gotta just do this circular motion. Have that new growth in between your 2 hands, and I'm holding it with my thumb up against my hand. I'm pinching it, and hence pinch roll. So what you're gonna do is, I'm just gonna do it real quick. Not that long, right? But check it out. It's fairly in there, right? So this is the quick one, okay? And it's probably going to come out in a few hours, but I mean, if you're in a hurry, trying to get somewhere where you feel like you need to be a little bit more presentable, just do that with the rest of your dreads. But if you have time, this is what I like to do. So I just did that, right? So I'm going to untwist it, right? And as you can see how it's coming loose, right? Now we're going to go back and do it again. Untwisted. You got to loosen them up. Hold it in that twisted position, whether it was a 1/2 turn or 3/4 of a turn or whatever it was, and see, look, boom. There's that new growth in there, and we're going to do it again. So once you do that, it's going to be a tight roll. Like, you will feel it. You can feel the dread going up towards your scalp more and more. You're just not gonna, there's gonna be very little loose hair from the start of the dread to the scalp, or what it's gonna feel like. But that's my method. I'm just gonna kind of do it full speed, I guess. Switching up hands. Regrip it. I kind of like regripping a little bit, because I mean, some of the loose hairs might come out, and I want those little bad boys in there. Boom, right? So untwist. Do it again. Regrip. Boom. Let's get a couple in there, because it looks like haven't done it in a while. And you don't want to do, personally for me, I don't want to do it too often, because the new growth definitely helps lock in the dreads a lot more doing this method. If you just got some shorties in there, I mean, it'll come out a little faster than the longer new growth, right? Untwist, regrip, do it again, regrip. Now, I already had my interview with my job, so he obviously knows I have dreads, and I wet my hands down and ponytailed up, so my new growth was in with my ponytail, right? Now, you can do all of them if you want to. Every now and then, probably once a month, I go in there and do this longer, time-consuming method. Whatever you feel comfortable with. If you are bored sitting on the couch with your girlfriend, boyfriend, watching TV or Netflix and chilling or whatever, and you're kind of like playing with your hair and you see a lot of new growth, you can do a couple of dreads a day, and if you did it right, you can feel the next day which dreads have been maintained and which ones haven't been maintained. Boom. See, looking, we're already looking a little bit on the professional side. You know what I mean? You got a little part there. That's a good part, but such is life. It is what it is. I'm gonna give it a little flipperoo, and so this dread right here, it was thinner for a little bit, and I started to grab more of the hair to put into the dread so it can be thicker, because the thinner the dread, the more likely they get it ripped out, fall out. You close it in the door of the fridge and walk away, and then snap. So this one is looking good, but the one, where's that little guy? Yeah, there you are. Get everything out of the way. Let's check it out. This dread, this top one, is thinner than this bottom one, right? So what I'm going to do, I am going to get whatever new growth I can that's around like this bottom one and around this top one, the thinner one, and I'm just gonna try and get more of that hair to get maintained into the thinner dread, because I am trying to thicken it up a little bit more. So you can see how it started to thin out, and then I started the process of trying to put more hair into this dread, and as you can see, it's starting to get thicker and thicker and thicker, which is pretty amazing, because that's just how dreaded hair works, I guess. Regrip, regrip. Something, if you really feel like you need to get in there and just do it a lot longer than I had previously mentioned before up on these dreads, go for it, man. Jaw helps those that helps themselves, y'all. I'm gonna give it a wee twist. Let me give it a untwist it up. See how that is untwisted, keeping it in that untwisted position, right? Boom. Now, the more new growth I'm trying to put into a dread, the more I'm going to work on it. But like I said, hey, look at that. That's pretty awesome, huh? What's that little guy? Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I thought it was good, just to kind of handle the first, like the top of it, like, because obviously the top is, for me, it was a little worse than, the thick of it back here. I'm not going to really worry about that. I just want the top to be a little bit more on the presentable side. So when I go in for my orientation at my new job, I look a little bit on the professional side because it is a business casual scene. Hey, check that out, man. Do a little untwist. See how it untwists? You can see how the ends of the new growth want to go in there, and I untwisted it. And the midsection of the new growth in between the tips and the scalp are wanting to come out. Okay. You just grab it by the scalp, by the roots, put it on in there. Now, hey, suave, y'all, suave. Cheers.